Do-do-do. Uh-oh. There we go. I am testing all this out at once, so bear with me. We are starting soon. Connect. Is it working now? There we go. Awesome. Okay. I think we are live on Instagram. We are live on YouTube. And I am working on getting live on Twitter. We are doing a very special episode tonight. Where is it? Right here it is. So tonight marks episode 500. And for those that are new to Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, we've been doing this for a very long time. Right now, we actually just had Cruz Azul and Monterrey kick things off. So I'll be making sure to update everyone as we go through tonight's episode. And welcome, everyone. Just give me 1 sec. I'm trying to get everything going all at the same time here. Go live. Making sure we're all here. Okay. I have a lot of things going on all at once. No sound detected. Uh-oh. Audio mixer. Primary microphone. Hello. Welcome everyone on, is it Twitter, TikTok? I don't know. I am trying to see if can everybody hear me? I can't hear anything. Can you guys hear me? What is going on? Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Shit. Let's see. Why is my audio not working? Hello. Testing. Why isn't this working? Microphone device. What the hell's going on, man? Let me see. Permission. Bear with me, everybody. Yeah, no, everyone should be able to hear me. Can you guys hear me? Let me know. I know Instagram can hear me. I don't know if TikTok can hear me. Can you guys hear me on TikTok? Let me know. Okay, I'm going to kick this off. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Cantina MX Football Podcast. It is a very special episode. We're on our 500th episode. And there are two dates that mean everything to me. April 8th, 2019, episode 186. My first ever appearance on Cantina MX. And then July 7th, 2020, episode 240, the day I officially was coronated as host. And I cannot believe we are approaching 7 years on this journey. But first, I want to stand on the shoulders of giants. And I want to give my sincere thanks to the OGs who built this from the ground up. This has always been more than a show. It has been a passion project, and it has been an honor to carry it forward. To John Jagu, the original host, who won an Emmy a couple years ago and is still doing it big on the big screen. A big shout out to Chiquis, original Pumas fan, who has done a lot of uplift in the background. I wish he would return to the podcast. I know he's busy. I got to give my props to Ron, who helped pave the way, getting us accredited to the matches through his work covering the 2006 and 2010 World Cup. That also includes Joely, who was also as a freelance. But Ron he's got that one over me. He's been able to go to 2 World Cups. It is my dream to go as a professional photographer. Hopefully, we're able to make it happen with Cantina. And of course, I have to give my flowers to Joely, who saw something in me, reached out, and invited me to this crazy, crazy project. I share all this because over the years, this project has grown into something legitimate, something real. And the best part, we're just getting started. Our panel tonight were people that were just listeners. They took a chance, requested to speak, and now they're part of La Banda. So to everyone listening, thank you. Without this would just be a bunch of strangers on the internet arguing. And to those listening right now, I encourage you, jump on Twitter, join us on the broadcast, request to speak. This platform was built for everyone. And we have random joiners that we encourage to return, be part of the conversation. Like this was built for you guys. So that's why we are here. Let's kick off episode 500. I have a couple people joining us right now. I don't know if my audio is working on Twitter, but let me know, gents, if you guys can hear me. Hello, hello.
Pues qué pedo, puto. Yo sí te puedo oír. ¿Qué onda? ¿Cómo andamos?
Welcome up, Diaz. Cruz Azul currently 0-0 against Monterrey. 6 minutes in. I'm watching attentively, but welcome up, Diaz. How you doing?
I'm doing well. First and foremost, let me start off by saying this. Give me just 1 second. Happy St. Patty's Day to each and every single one of y'all. Enjoy, in this day, it's the day that we're all a little bit Irish, but let's not forget, when it comes to drinking, Mexicans take the cake. All right? There's a reason why a 2-year-old's birthday party has 20 fucking cases there just for one tío.
Yeah, dude. I'm actually wearing green today. I am broadcasting in black and white, so you guys gonna just have to trust me on this one. But yeah, no, it's St. Patty's Day, and I talked to a couple Irishmen over the weekend, and I said, hey, I'm rooting for you guys. I'm rooting for you guys in the World Cup. I want to. They would be in our group, right? And that would be the last group match against Mexico. It'd be like the biggest borrachera ever, and everybody would come out as winners in that match. And real quick, Monterrey just scored 1-0 against Cruz Azul 7 minutes in.
Yeah, this is interesting. Don't worry. Recuerden, the tiebreaker es el gol de visitante.
Oh.
Y Cruz Azul les metió un putazo.
Okay.
In their home.
All right.
So as of right now, I'm not that worried. I can't remember what the numbers were, but it was a pretty good fucking beatdown. I think it was like 4. I don't think we considered a full fisting. So we shall see what happens.
Sorry, had to let the doggy out. But who else is joining us on Twitter Spaces? Let me look. I got like 5 screens going on at once. We're doing something different for our 500th episode. We are live on TikTok. We are live on Instagram. We are live on YouTube. And of course, we're live on Twitter Spaces. So we're worldwide today. It's Pitbull, Looks like we have Rifado. Welcome, Rifado.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me all right?
Welcome, man. How we doing?
Doing fine, man. Especially with Chivas, getting a good victory over, a slump buster like Santos.
Yep.
Some good play. It was actually a really good weekend for Morros, and we can go over that in detail later. But right now, I'm just looking at this game, the Huilas. I mean, not the Huilas, the Chemos and the Monterrey game.
Yep.
It's looking interesting, but one thing that's caught my eye: empty ass stadium. There's no one there.
Well, it is St. Patty's Day, and I want to say that Monterrey is like a working city, so I don't know. I will say though, their counterparts Tigres always have a full stadium, so I'm not sure what's going on over there in Nuevo León.
No mames, güey. Están en Puebla. Ahorita.
Oh, that's right.
Cruz Azul is playing at home. Don't get your shit twisted, all right? I'm the fucking home team.
Oh my god, you guys are fucking homeless, bro.
Mira, güey, ¿sabes qué? Y'all say that I'm homeless, this and that. El bullying está bueno, pero ¿sabes qué, cabrón? Traigo putos trofeos a tu pinche inmueble que no ha visto ni verga en años. Entonces, ¿sabes qué, güey? Di gracias. En 2 temporadas, las Chivas va a estar pidiendo que juguemos en el pinche Akron. Rogando son las palabras.
Dude,
¿verdad?
I hella forgot that you guys were homeless. And it looked like the Rayado Stadium. That's why I was like, dude, what's going on here?
No, güey, plus, like, let's be honest, es una pinche chinga llegar de la Ciudad de México a Puebla. No mames, es un pinche dolor de huevos, especialmente si vas en autobús. No mames, no.
But still, the Chemos are a grande. They're one of the big four. You would think they would have a bigger, showing for a game that's a big game. Monterrey versus Cruz Azul, two quality sides. Some of the best that Liga MX has to offer. You would imagine it would be more full. It looks empty as fuck. I'm going to go ahead and say there's like, 10,000 people in there?
Pero también, güey, no mames, es un pinche martes a las 9 de la noche.
Hey, so right now the game is tied up 3-3 on aggregates. Like you mentioned, Abdias, Cruz Azul did score 3 away goals. So Monterrey would have to beat them on aggregate. They wouldn't go through it with this current results.
Yes. So let's see how it holds out. Now, one of the things is, remember, if you look at your screen right now, you can see that it's raining, right? Rayados play in Monterrey. They don't know what the rain is, all right?
I don't see any rain, dog.
You're not seeing it? No, there is rain. Ahorita vas a ver in a couple different shots.
It's not raining.
There's rain.
You're just making shit up, bro.
Entonces, no, güey. Ahorita vas a ver.
It looks humid, but it doesn't look like it's raining.
I saw some drops on the camera.
Those are just tears of the Chemos fans. It's already happening.
No, güey. Nomás porque Monterrey es un desierto y aquellos cabrones no saben jugar en la lluvia.
Ajá.
Es por lo que yo les diría, no se preocupen.
That's
Pero no hay
funny.
pedo, güey. Queda un chingo de partido. Vamos a ver qué pasa.
You know, in dramatic fashion, I was watching the other Conca Champions match today. It was Ajulese. They're the Costa Rican team. Dude, they were so close, but they choked at the end, and LAFC went through on a last-minute goal. So LAFC is through to the next round, be quarterfinals.
Yeah, it's, you know what? That last goal was a hell of a fucking banger. But unfortunately, they sullied the take by cutting to, just your typical cringy LAFC fan in the fucking stadium in Alguense. And you're like, bro, güerito, ¿qué chingados haces, güey? You're like rebranded Chivas USA. Like,
you're incorrect, Adidas. LAFC has nothing Chivas USA. Galaxy, the Galaxy fans like to point this out, but the thing is, I used to work for Chivas USA, so I know what happened when Chivas USA failed to exist. Galaxy absorbed what's the name? Absorbed their academies, and they even hired some employees. Galaxy LAFC wanted fucking nobody with Chivas USA on the resume, and two iconic Chivas USA players, which are Villafana and Clemson, they play for Galaxy. So fuck, LAFC has fucking little to do with Chivas USA, man.
I
See,
will.
wait, but the club identity is still tied
Nah.
to
Fucking
Chivas
LAFC
USA.
look, I was there with fucking Chivas USA since the beginning. They had
Yo también, güey, and it was
no hay nada
ass.
que ver, güey. No hay nada que ver. Fucking
Albert.
LAFC is fucking Hollywood, dude.
The
It was
the
fucking ass from the very beginning.
the comandante of the 3252, he was a Chivas USA fan.
Yeah,
And
no, it was,
the little drummer boy.
Chiva Mayor, which was the leader, and his homie Rey Mysterio, they were the Chivas USA. Yeah, but the thing is, that's just the fans, dude. The rest of the LAFC, they wouldn't even hire my homies that were the game day staff.
Mhm.
They wanted little to do with Chivas USA, dude.
Tell
Yeah.
me, Way, if you're starting a new club from scratch, would you bring in losers? Would you bring in people who clearly
Oh
failed?
my God.
I wasn't a
Like
loser.
there is failure on your
I wasn't a
resume.
loser.
Like if I was you, I'd be ashamed to be talking about the Chivas USA days.
Hey man, they had
Like,
to
¿sabes qué, güey? I don't know. I signed an NDA.
they had to
Like, se chingó.
they had to crawl so
Oh, man,
LAFC could
that's
walk.
That's where I met most of my connects, man. Come on.
And I don't want to turn this into a MLS pod. There's plenty of other channels for that. One thing I can say about LAFC is I know one of the dudes, one of the drummer boys. Shout out to Rick. He was like an OG Chivas USA fan, and
Yeah. A lot of
when
boys, they absorb two groups.
they're seeing the fruits of their labor, and now there's a bunch of bandwagoners and stuff. But I gotta
Pero
give
wait, no mames.
I gotta give credit to them because they have like original culture. It's not cringe culture. Like you look at like Seattle, you look
Dude,
at
it is super fucking cringe though. Cause you look
pero,
at them
hey, they got
and you
they
know
got
that it's not true.
Look,
You know
they got
that
swag,
that's
bro.
just their
They got
game
swag.
day outfit.
They got
But
swag.
you know what?
Yeah, that's their
We
game day
even say the
outfit,
same
way.
about
Se lo ponen
Adidas.
para el fin de semana y ya.
Adidas. We could even say the same about Liga MX, copiando pinches cánticos argentinos. It's
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
cringe. This part of the world, if you look at it, it's all cringe because they're just copying someone else.
I don't know, man. Like the LAFC fan doesn't live it. Like you look at them, he's like, no mames, güey. Me vas a decir que este pinche metrosexual está viviendo el
Nah, you know
fútbol.
what?
Es un pinche FIFAs. No mames,
The
güey.
Galaxy fans, man. The Galaxy fans, fuera de los centroamericanos,
Ooh.
Ah.
Cruz Azul almost just tied it up. A big save from Monterrey.
Oh.
And yeah, it's still 1-0, 17 minutes
let's remember
in.
this part.
Sorry, bro. Sorry. ¿Qué estás defendiendo a tu LAFC de
No,
toda la
I'm saying
vida?
the team. I'm not an MLS fan. I'm just saying that what's the name that the fan base has grown and yeah, they do corny shit, but like there was a guy that dressed up as a calavera, and there's some guy that dressed up as a king, but you know what, they've really come into their own, and I think their fan base is more believable than the Galaxy fan base. The
yeah.
Galaxy fan base outside of their Central American fans, it's really non-existent.
Okay, espérate. Primero, antes que nada, the LA Galaxy fan, todos sabemos qué es, güey. They're cloud chasers, they're Hollywood.
Well, they're Central American.
Es-
The hardcore are Central Americans.
Sí, güey, pero like your average fan es lo que es, ¿verdad? Like vas ahí por el mame, ¿verdad? Por las estrellas, por lo que es, vas porque te acordabas de Beckham, de
The Rose Bowl,
no de Zidane, de ¿cómo se llama? De Beckham en el Rose
Joe.
Bowl.
Kobe
De-
Jones, Machado, del Pando, de Cienfuegos.
No, güey, el otro Zidane. No, güey, sigo diciendo Zidane.
Who, the Irish dude?
Zlatan.
That's Mata, yeah.
Zlatan que vino, set the fucking world on fire, all of that. Pero, no mames, güey. Lo que es LAFC, it's a bunch of fucking posers. But the second question that I had for you... Espérate. Antes que nada, güey. Nomás déjame, hago la pregunta. Nomás déjame, hago la pregunta.
Dude. You go to the Lakers, the fucking posers on the bottom, the real fans on top. The Dodgers, The
I
fucking
can no way.
the rich Jewish fans in the fucking dugout seats, and the Mexicans in the fucking pavilion. That's how it is.
Go to
in the
go
American
to
sport.
Portland. Go watch the Sounders play. Go.
Put my
Pero
foot down for
espérate,
this
espérate,
MLS
espérate.
shit.
No, no, no.
Yeah,
Espérate,
Gentlemen,
dude.
gentlemen.
I
You
just
got-
had
you got a
one
minute,
question.
1
I just had
minute.
one question. All right, Albert, really quickly. What does Jaime Camille's cock taste like? Because obviously you have it in your
Oh
mouth.
my
I'm not an
God.
MLS fan. I'm not an LAFC fan, Dick. I don't like
Oh.
MLS. I'm not a fucking fan. I'm not a fan, Dick.
It-
I'm just telling you. I'm just an objective observer. I've covered both fucking LA teams. I work for Chivas, and I'm just telling you how the situation is with LAFC. I'm not a fucking MLS. I've never paid. The only time I paid for MLS ticket was it was El Día de los Viejitos. So I took my dad to go see Chivas. We got tickets for fucking $10.
Wow.
That's the only time I paid a MLS ticket.
So what I'm hearing is sandalwood and umami.
Oh my God.
Damn, you fucking got, I don't fucking. I'm not an MLS fucking apologist or fucking truther, dude.
Real quick, I want to
No.
say welcome on Joely. Joely, I don't know if you missed my intro, man, but
Thank you, sir.
you're the one that scouted me,
No,
bro.
I heard it. Thank you. Yeah, I still remember, man. You had you had a Discord.
Yep.
You had a Discord page. It was popping. Someone invited me, and it was everything. You could talk about everything.
Yep.
And yeah, we would talk soccer, and you were Chivo Hermano, and I was like, hey, you want to just, you want to come to the pod? We were always.
He Jerry Epstein. He's like, hey, come
Yeah.
to my island, bro. Hang out with me. And I was just like, all right, man. Like,
Yeah.
and
You know what surprises me though hearing is that I always thought in my mind you became the host sooner,
yeah.
But it took you a while. Not that it took you a while, but just the way the setup was.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, thank you, man.
Oh, thank you guys.
Thank
I mean,
you. And
it's been a crazy journey.
yeah, well, the thing with the pod, and it's always had like, it's been like kind of like the Undertaker, where you think it's dead, and then it just sits back up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's been like that a few times where there was always different groups that would come at, of different, different that would participate. There would be regulars that would come and leave. And, at times it seemed like it was just me and Chiquis. And, it gets to that point where it's like, is it just us talking,
Yeah.
Is there even anyone listening?
Yep.
And there was, but we didn't know. I think now, and it started like in 2014, so it's been a good. What is it? It should be what is today the quinceañera is the quinceañera.
2014. So it's been damn, son. It's been like 12 years.
Yeah.
And it's gone through many changes, right? Originally
Yeah.
it was Cachirules, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was the original name. But a lot of people didn't know what
Cachirules was.
Cachirules meant. And it's some old shit because Cachirul comes from a show from Mexico from like the 70s. So kind of hard to, it was like an inside joke because Cachirulo was a character who he had a TV show and he would like dress like a kid. So he was pretending to be a kid. So
Mm.
the Mexico team that got eliminated
So that's
from,
where it comes from. All right.
yeah, the Olympics. So there's a team from Mexico that won their qualifiers to go to the Olympics. I think it was to the Olympics. There's a youth team.
It was an eliminatory in Guatemala, I believe.
Yeah, and they win it. And there was a Mexican journalist who had he figured out some of those guys were older. Because I think FMF.
Eddie Moreno, yeah.
And then at one point you guys decided to change it to 2-0. And now it's Cantina. So yeah, it's gone through a lot of changes. We're here now. And right now we're broadcasting on a lot of platforms at the same time. First time we're doing it, kind of special episode. So if you guys are new to Cantina MX, It's like a radio show, right? We host it on Twitter. Anybody can talk. We're really focused on Liga MX and the Mexican national team. Right now, we have Monterrey up 1-0 against Cruz Azul, 24th minute. One caveat, there was an injury on the pitch, and Arteaga just came in. So very early substitution for Monterrey. That might be a factor to keep your tabs on. We do have a Discord for Cantina MX. I'm going to blast it everywhere, so feel free to join us. Get to hang out with us behind the scenes. And, I think today's topics, there's a lot of them to discuss. The main one, is about Raul Jimenez. They just announced today that Ricardo Pepi will be joining the club. And it's very interesting how that will affect, Raul Jimenez's future. He has not extended his contract at Fulham. So most likely out with the old, in with the new. And what a time for this to happen, right? We just had a pretty hefty discussion on the last episode about how, the Pochos, the Mexican Americans that decided to suit up for the red, white, and blue instead of the Mexican national team, how, none of them have really panned out. None of them we really missed out on. We have plenty of talent in those positions, but it's funny how all of this happens very quickly with Ricardo Pepi getting secured by Fulham. At the same time, you guys were talking about Zendejas and Diego Luna, and neither of them were picked for the upcoming friendlies. So what does that mean? Why is everybody
They're
on?
not going to the World Cup. Pretty much the consensus is if they were not part of the and then I think Pochettino even said like something about how these two against Portugal and I think or the team Belgium too, that was pretty much gonna be the team. And then he specifically spoke about Luna. Luna's injured, but Pochettino pretty much said that he struggled to fit the system. So he's pretty much, I think he's discarded, and I don't even think Zendejas was on his radar. So they're gonna be watching the World Cup at some fan parties, I suppose. Huh?
Yeah, I'm just saying, Rifaldo and Hattrick both said, he would absolutely be a starter on the Mexican national team. Doesn't even get a look under Pochettino. So clearly
All right, really quickly. Before the putazos start raining down on half of las pendejadas que hizo el Rifaldo. All right, really quickly.
Hattrick's ready. He's ready to roll.
Now, Little Hattrick came in here and actually said it really plain and simple. It's the fact that there is this Eurocentric focus within the U.S. national team. Because if you look down, it got broken down, and you can see where the players are from where, and it's heavily skewed towards Euro teams. I think I counted. There's only 4 domestic players.
But he keeps on calling it a Roldan, so I mean that's the exception. And if Luna and Zendejas were,
Por eso, güey, espérame.
Yo, they call me a man.
4 o 5, ¿verdad? That they were in there that like they, okay, cool, you play for, I think he called somebody from the Timbers, somebody from Atlanta, somebody from Crew, like that. Whitecaps, I think era uno de los que estaban ahí. Like he called from some of the heavy hitter names, right? And okay, that's understandable. Right? Now, the big thing here is Rifaldo said something very, very pointed last time, which was reported by one of the best fucking sport gossip reporters in Mexico, which is El Fantasma, ¿verdad? El Fantasma Suárez, I think is his last name. Pinche viejito chingón, mamalón y todo. Reportó y dijo, ¿cómo es que trataron de hacer a Zendejas firmar el one-time switch? Era improfesional, ¿verdad? No dejaron que sus abogados vieran el papeleo, no dejaron que nada de eso pasara. Entonces, estas son mamadas. ¿Y sabes qué? En ese punto, sí, güey, son mamadas. ¿Verdad? No me vienes a mí, me estoy a punto de ir de viaje y me sacas un pinche fusil y me lo pones en la cabeza y me dices, hey, firma este papel o se chingó. ¿Verdad? No, eso, señor, no se hace. Tú y yo y todos de aquí a China lo entendemos, ¿verdad? Entonces, no mames, si estoy hablando de China, Nuevo León, para que no nos vayamos tan lejos. Entonces, aquí está el pedo, ¿verdad? Diego Luna, ¿sabes qué, güey? En la selección mexicana, no creo que haga la diferencia,
Nope.
¿verdad? Porque, güey, es 100% pocho, ¿verdad? He looks like that third generation Latinx that eats Mission tortillas.
Not even.
That's just wrong in every single way.
Bro, you know
That
that
cement
dude.
glue must be hitting super hard right now.
That dude
That
is
cement
eating
glue is
Taco
fucking
Bell.
hitting so
Let's be
hard.
real. He's eating Taco Bell
And calling it Mexican
and
food.
calling it
All
authentic
right. He
Mexican
says
food.
that it's too spicy and that his stomach can't take it.
When he's getting a little,
Pero,
hey,
la cosa que
when he wants to spice things up, he'll go to Chipotle.
Oof. And he asked for the green salsa.
But you know what the funny thing is? A lot of marketing materials they were featuring him. He had a Bank of America commercial, and then he I think Nike had shown him with the jersey.
It was Bank of America. I thought it was Visa. I knew it was a banking institution.
With a disturbing looking brother as well.
Güey, donde el pendejo está hablando español y neta, güey. No. Rifado habla más bonito, güey. No mames.
Bro, he's a good player.
But
Who,
he speaks
Luna?
like shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Would he
No, he's
find a
not, man.
He wouldn't find a spot on the
He's-
national team though.
For Mexico right now.
For
He's
Mexico
a
right now.
product of the American
Bro,
system.
Bro, Sendejas and Luna are not better than Lains. They're
Mira.
at that level.
¿Sabes qué, güey? I'll say this. He's a product of the American system, very similar to the criticism that I've been making for months back about el Cowboy Cowl, ¿verdad? Pero en la misma hoja te da esa misma pinche chispa, pero a niveles más bajo que lo que te da Marcel Ruiz, ¿verdad? He's a fucking pitbull. Right? He chases after, he gives you that like intensity, but unfortunately no es destacante. No es ese pinche wow que quieres en tu nivel nacional.
Well, we saw that in the Gold Cup. Was it the Gold Cup final where he didn't do shit?
Oh, dude, he choked so hard.
He did. He played bad. He played bad. But Diego Luna is more Sendejas than Ruiz.
Definitely, yes.
He's more of like a 10, but I mean he's still very young. I think he's like 21 maybe?
Yeah, he's a
Or
young.
am I tripping?
I thought it was like 23.
Let me see.
Has a couple of cycles in front of him.
You guys are beside the point. The point is that Zendeja's quality. It sucks for the guy. It does suck that he doesn't get to go to the World Cup because he chose the USA, and Pochettino just doesn't value him. But like he should have played for us. He could help our team.
But Rizal, even for us, do you think he's better than the Lains?
I think he's better than Lainez. Who are you comparing him to? I think you cut out.
To Lainez, I put that comparison to Martin de Palacio.
No, he's better. He's better. He's better than Lainez, hands down.
But the stats and the numbers show that it's really not much of a difference.
You know, maybe
come
in the
on.
last year, maybe in the last 6 months because of injury for Zendejas.
Rivado, and that's something that like I haven't really been hearing a lot of people mention. He's been injured since like at least November. He played for the US back in September and he had a great showing. There was actually a lot of hype from the US fans because he played really well, and then he's just been dealing with injury since.
Yeah, he pulled his vagina. But you know, we dealing with our own injuries, and I'm gonna start making this a trend, the Cantina curse. We talked about Luis Angel Malagon on our last episode. He got injured, out for the World Cup. And then Marcel Ruiz, which we've been criticizing because his club level does not match his national team career. Like with Mexico, he really hasn't transcended. Guess what happened? He goes down as well in last week's CONCACAF Champions match. So who are their replacements? it sounds like Aguirre is calling up Ochoa. I don't know if it's been confirmed, but that is like the rumors. And then with Marcel Ruiz, is it gonna be Charlie Rodriguez? Like, who's the best, replacement for Marcel?
Obed Vargas is also is also definitely on the radar now.
Obed got his starts over the weekend for Atletico Madrid, which I thought was impressive. He got about 60 plus minutes before he got subbed out. But yeah, he's absolutely a player that hopefully squeezes into the World Cup roster.
So I have a question for everybody. What are you guys looking to get out of this World Cup? Do you guys want to put out the best team that will give us the best chance of winning, even though we're not going to win anything, but the best team that gives us the best chance of winning? Or do we want to kind of have a lineup of some young talent that we're like, okay, maybe by the next World Cup, they're going to be in Europe, or they're going to be playing a lot better, and they need the experience now?
What I will tell
There's no
you,
partido.
Look, I believe being that they're host, they're part host. I think the goal is definitely to make it to the quarterfinals, and it's like the setup is perfect for them, because they play 2 games in Azteca, then they play the one in Guadalajara, and then if they qualify as primeros, they got the round of what was it, the
32.
round of 32. They got it in Azteca, and the round of 16 in El Azteca. So it's like in a silver platter for them to get cuartos, and that's a goal. And obviously that means that they have to field the best team possible, and not start looking at 230. Then they can't, because like I said, I want to reiterate, they're the host, and they've been served this a path on a silver platter.
all right,
So
little
it
hat
has to be
trick.
the sixth game. The sixth game. Come on, because like inflation. I don't know. It used to be the 5th game was the marker. Now it's the 6th game.
Pero no
You know-
mames, güey.
Let me. Can I have a shot at this? So,
Dale.
I'll tell you, like, reality and what might happen, right? So I think everyone wants Mexico to at least not get embarrassed in this World Cup. All the Mexican fans, none of them are delusional enough to think that we could go on a deep run. I don't think anyone's there yet. Maybe with enough tequila and a couple weeks before the World Cup, maybe we have a good outing against Portugal and Belgium. Maybe we'll start delusional, like, oh shit, like we might have a chance. No, I think the goal is, like, we understand that we don't have the best team, and let's just not get embarrassed in our own country, because we know that these fans are very fickle, and at any moment, if Mexico is playing like shit, the fans will turn on them. They will root for South Africa. They will root for Korea. They will root for that European playoff team and make Mexico feel like shit. So what won't happen is what happened 4 years ago, which we didn't get out of the group. We thought that was going to change everything, that we were going to, chop the heads off, and we were going to revolutionize and work towards a goal. No, nothing happened. Nothing fucking happened. We actually went backwards. So with this World Cup, let's just get to the round of 16 again. Like, let's make it respectable. Maybe if the team catches fire, we can go on a deeper run. But let's be honest, guys. These guys they're not doing shit in this World Cup.
Okay, I asked that because then it's just okay. How do I explain this? I asked that because I'm very curious for lineups purposes, right? So, for example, against Portugal, I don't want to see Charlie. And well, I don't want to see Charlie, period. But obviously, with the injuries, it's looking like we're gonna see a lot of him. I don't want to see Chiquito. I would rather see the dude that plays at Atleti. I forgot his name.
Obed
I want to see
Vargas.
Fidalgo. Yeah, I want to see Vargas. I want to see Fidalgo.
Oh, he's-
Montiel just is coming back. He's
We're
coming
not
back from
taking
injury. Maybe I
Fidalgo,
wanna see
bro.
a little bit Montiel. Huh?
We're not taking Fidalgo. He's Spanish.
He's Mexican.
Going.
Bro, with how many injuries we've picked up,
With Mora,
I'm not counting him out.
Fidalgo?
I'm not counting them out.
You guys are expecting
Isn't somebody
Fidalgo
with
to make the roster.
Bro, what? Wait. Okay.
Bro, hold
Yes.
on. Really quickly, I'm expecting Huescas to make the fucking roster.
I don't think he's making
All
it.
right. Because chismes are saying
All right, bro.
que
Come on.
espérate, güey. Los
He is
chismes
not
dicen
playing.
que el Vasco le dijo que lo iba a esperar hasta el último momento posible,
Bro,
hasta que estuviera listo. And bro, he should be coming out of that recovery chamber like right about now.
Bro, who said that? He said that to Santi.
bro, he hallucinating, bro. He be huffing that cement bag and getting these
No?
these whispers.
I'm telling you, man.
No, have you guys been? Wait, les dije la vez pasada. Listen to El Reportero con Chafa Márquez Lugo. That's where they talk about
Yozgat?
this thing.
Yo-
Yeah,
Yozgat Gutierrez,
with Rafa Márquez Lugo.
a Cruz
They talk
Azul,
about this.
a Cruz Azul mediocre goalie that has a podcast. All right, sure.
You mean and a journeyman who also played for Chivas?
Yozgat Gutierrez did not play for Chivas.
Yes, he did. No, not Yozgat. Rafa Márquez Lugo
Oh,
did.
Rafa Marquez Lugo's got my respect, man. We were in a
Who
dark
did
period.
Rafa
And
Marquez
he wa-
play for?
And he was the one who fucking mentioned it. He was the one who brought it up.
We'll see, man.
Well, Diaz, where would he play?
Is
in
he,
your opinion?
is he a left back or right back?
He's right.
But would
I
they
would-
put him in the wing or as a right back?
I would put him in the wing.
Then
Oh.
maybe. I can
I'd
see
put him
that.
in the wing porque te puede jugar el tapón también. He can come down and block.
He's good with three in the back.
Hey,
That's what your mom said too.
if it means that we bump off Jorge Sanchez, I'm all for it, bro. Because yeah, he's fucking trash.
Yeah, why not?
Let
It's
me
time Europa. It's
can I-
Europe.
hey, real quick, hey, what's up guys? Can I
Welcome,
I'm gonna
Tomas.
touch on Hat Trick's question there, right? Let me give you my dream, my wet dream for this World Cup for Mexico. I like you mentioned, Jaime, unless you're delusional, estás tontito, or you've been hitting the bottle, you think that Mexico is going to make noise. And we've been down this path several World Cups where it happened again.
Yep.
Maybe it's eventful, but we're not doing shit. Okay. And it's just
But
like
what
a
do you mean
but
by
wait,
doing
hold
that
on.
shit? What
Hold
do you
on.
mean?
Okay, dude, at the end of the day, it's like, are we getting closer to winning a World Cup? And if we're just putting out a product that just saves face, just to like look good or just look professional for our sponsors and in a home crowd, yes, to the masses, maybe to the uneducated fan or to the person that doesn't care about getting closer to winning a World Cup, then that checks a box. But if you're a fan that's been with this team forever since you're a kid, even if you're born in the States, right? Like it's a passage where you still root for this team to want to see them do well and get the respect on a world stage. The only way to do that is to develop young talent, because we don't have any. The only like veteran guy here on this squad that's going to the World Cup that has respect is Raul. He's at the tail end of his career. Memo, maybe you can say that, but everyone else is like a youngster coming up. It sucks to
What
see.
about Gallardo's a proven.
Gallardo's like a soldier.
And
Gallardo's like
it's
an
probably
every
gonna be
man.
Ochoa, bro,
He's a
too.
reliable.
And he's a leader. He's a
Yeah.
leader. That's why he
And-
gets the result.
And what I'm trying to say is like, you look at guys like in England this week, and I don't know if you guys saw, but Arsenal's like wonder kid, which is like our Gil Mora, Max Dowman. He's 16. He came on and he scored like a phenomenal goal for Arsenal. Now there's talk of bringing him to the World Cup. So the game is always evolving and tailoring to the young player. And if we don't develop our young talent, none of this means shit. So what I'm trying to say is like, I would love to see a lineup that just says, you know what, we're putting out a lineup that prioritizes our youth because we care about the development and getting us closer to a World Cup. And
You know,
it's hard.
Aguirre's
It's
not
hard to
gonna do
pitch
that.
that. Hold on, it's hard to.
But Aguirre doesn't do
Exactly,
that.
and it's
Aguirre-
hard to
look
pitch
at-
that
look at
to
Evaluation.
sponsors.
He always puts the safest. Look at versus
He's a bombero, man. He puts out fires.
An offensive team.
And I think,
Yeah.
Offensive team, and he played it safe. It's not Aguirre.
and I think it's like it's an old guy thing, right? Like it's his legacy. He doesn't want to be remembered as the guy that goes out and gets bounced.
He's always been like
Listen, his legacy
Exactly.
was
So it's
fucked
like
when he sold us out against USA in 2002. So fuck his legacy. Fuck Aguirre. This is the third time he's been coaching this Mexican national team. We're probably going to get to the same result as his last two previous, or worse. We might get bounced in the fucking round of 32. It's like Aguirre's he got brought in because it was an emergency situation. The team wasn't resonating with Jimmy Lozano. And as a kind of holding the carrot in front of us, they said, but wait, Rafa Marquez, you guys love him. He's been coaching in Barcelona. He's one of our legends. He is going to take over this team for 2030. So we've been bamboozled and kind of been given that copium like, hey, things will get better in 2030. But for now, we got to go with someone that's tried and true that can at least have a respectable result at the World Cup. But Aguirre is not going to be the guy that's going to do that. He's not going to set Rafa Marquez up for success. Oh, let's put in Gil Mora. Let's put in all these youngsters like Hormiga Gonzalez. He might go to the World Cup, but he's not going to start because Aguirre is going to go with the senior guys. So it's, yeah.
Guys,
So hold on.
just
hold
because you
on, guys.
play 2-3 players at the World Cup doesn't mean you're set up for success. It's just 3 games.
Yeah. So hey,
Doesn't really
all right.
matter. What matters is the league, the day in, day out playing. That's what matters. You can go to the World Cup, you go to Olympics. It's like about 3-4 games. That's not going to make or break you. There's really great
True.
players that never even went to the World Cup. So I mean, I think that's.
So here's the thing
Go
to answer a little hat trick thing. What's the best that Mexico can hope for? Well, what you don't want is you don't want Qatar, you don't want Russia, you don't want South Africa, where it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Now, compare that to, like, let's say Brazil with Piojo, La Volpe with, in 06 with Argentina, La Puente in
98.
France.
Mm-hmm.
The fan, 98. The fans, they of course they're mad, they're sad, but they love the team and they thought the team did well. So really, that's what you hope for
Mm-hmm.
in this particular case. Whether
Quieren que
that's
se
the round of
muevan la raya. That's what they want.
so that's what you want. Now, in an ideal world, I understand what Thomas is saying, but here's the thing: in the grand scheme of things, a 7-8 game tournament doesn't dictate youth success or how it's going about it. That's what like Joel said. That's what the league is for, quote unquote, in terms of developing players. I agree that you should take 2 or 3 young players that maybe you don't even have the intention of playing, but at least they know what the atmosphere is.
Get
Like,
the
for example,
exposure.
I think that exactly, like, I think they should have taken Gio and perhaps even maybe Vela in back in Germany, because I mean they were
Definitely do.
What? Back in Germany?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
They would have been like,
Ronaldo, Coach
Yeah.
Ronaldo was taken in '94. He never played, but he was in that
Yeah.
squad to win the World Cup.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. That
Yeah, Kaká in
so
02.
so that's why they should have taken Lainez in Qatar.
mm,
Maybe you're not going to play him. In fact, and the roster has expanded from 23 to 26 now, right? So yeah, do it. I just, like I said, the only thing that I'm hoping for is for them to have a turnout, whether that ends in the round of 16, that ends in quarterfinals. As long as they play like they did against like Argentina in 06 or even in Holland, the Netherlands in 2014, where that you were up against an elite team and you fucking played your ass off to the point where you're crying because that they fucking did their all and they
Yeah.
played fantastic to their ability.
Yeah.
That's really what you want from this team. But here's the thing, and like I said, what I don't want is for a bad showing because if they go out like they did, like, for example, in Brazil and stuff like that, you can build on things. But what happens is if they shit the bed, what's going to happen is that the media is going to come out and they're going to want blood, and then they're going to and that's going to trickle down into the league and into the youth, because there's going to be changes and that tends to happen where just because the media is out for blood and stuff like that, they'll make they won't make rational decisions, and they'll start changing personnel, and it's like you're back at square one and you're basically fucked.
yeah.
Oh, and you know what? A bad showing could really tarnish the young players. I mean, like you said, yeah, maybe they could show up, but maybe they fall flat on their face, and where's their base for the next World
But
Cup?
worst
And
case
they would
Sí,
scenario,
güey,
also
pero
follow
mira,
Marquez.
espérate, mira, pero aquí está el pedo, güey. Aquí menos está el pedo. ¿Verdad? Estás diciendo, ok, no estamos para, la liga está para formar a los jugadores, ¿verdad? La selección no está para eso.
To a certain degree, to a certain degree, because
No,
at the end of the
pero
day,
es lo que tú acabas de decir,
no,
güey.
no.
¿Verdad?
To a-
Pero luego
to a
tienes
cer-
a tu
to-
liga que viene y
no,
dice,
no,
no.
to-
El
to a
trabajo de
certain
nosotros no es producir jugadores
exactly.
para la selección, es el entretenimiento. Entonces,
So
no mames, güey.
so here-
Entonces, ¿cuál es?
no. So the league, and I've said this before many times in the podcast. The first division teams are not in the business of producing youth players. Okay, it's a product. That's what it is. Okay, you have your youth systems and stuff like that. What I will say is that the league can do things like go back to the way it was. Like, for example, when they had the presidential decree, where you only had 4 foreign-born players, playing in Mexico City, and all the rest of the players had to be Mexican-born, or at least Mexican by citizenship, right? That's where I'm going to. So, but I said a World Cup, a tournament that's going to be 8, 9, whatever games, however long it is, it's unrealistic to think not. That basically is used, and some of you may not like to hear this, but you do want to leave a good showing, because you do want the fucking sponsors. Because what do you think pays for youth? What do you think pays for all these really nice, fancy infrastructure and stuff like that? The sponsors. And you want to make
Hungry parents.
Well, but again, like I said, there is, that's what I'm saying, that to a certain degree the league is not, or I should say the teams are not responsible for youth development, because they are a business. But the league in
Yeah, well,
itself,
So
the
it's
league
become
in
a
itself
talking
is
point, Ron.
responsible.
That's why.
what's that?
That's why it's become a talking point, where the media made it seem like the league exists to nourish the national team, and it's like the clubs have to take an L. You have a great player, just let him go to Europe, send him for free if you have to, because it's gonna benefit the national team. They forget the business side. They forget how many teams have crashed, how many teams don't have enough money to pay their players. They forget all of that.
So,
And I think
Okay,
it's because of the
entonces
media.
then why can't you do a project for the long term?
They do.
Like,
They
they
do do
tried.
the project.
Okay,
They have.
entonces ¿qué es el focus aquí? The 6th game
Which one?
or putting
Just-
in a good performance?
You have Marquez. You don't want a bad performance to follow him, because that's kind of what happened with Coca. The
Sí, güey,
results
pero
from
no,
the previous
puedes
followed
estar como el
him, and
pinche perro de las 2 tortas.
well,
Así de
here's-
simple, güey.
that's the league.
Entonces,
That's
¿cuál
the media,
quieres?
the fans.
No, güey, no estoy
Because of
hablando
the
de la
fans,
liga,
but-
estoy hablando de hoy, aquí, ahorita. ¿Qué quieres? ¿El mundial
Yo,
ahorita? ¿El
personally-
6º partido? ¿O
What tournament is next? Because yeah, you
so
want
here's the thing of this. Since '94, the round of 16.
except for our last
For I
World
don't
Cup.
for
Last-
for exactly, that's why I said forget
Yeah.
Qatar. So we've ended in the same place, but how you ended it makes a difference. How we're not talking like Japan, Korea, like Jaime said, where you shit the bed against the U.S. or you shit the bed in 2014 or in South Africa against Argentina, when 4 years before you played one of the best fucking matches against Argentina, and for me it was one of the best games I've ever seen. It was a phenomenal game. Unfortunately, Mexico was on the wrong hand. That's what you want, because you want to leave a good taste that the team is competitive moving forward, because like Joely just said, you don't want a bad performance, because that is going to carry Rafa Marquez going into 2013. I mean, think about this. I mean, remember Hugo Sanchez? Hugo Sanchez lost the fucking
Preolímpico.
the what do you call it? No. They were actually starting to already think about getting rid of him when he lost. What do you call it? The Gold Cup against the U.S. No.
Oh,
That's what fucking
okay,
that's what
okay.
secured. That's what secured it. But even even with because he lost the Copa America or he lost the Gold Cup in against the U.S. right in the final in Chicago. Then a couple months later they played the Copa America. They had a really good Copa America where they go into 3, but there were already fucking owners, club owners that were wanting to get rid of him because of the Gold Cup issue. So I mean, even that type of loss at a Gold Cup can fucking can carry with you. And Joel is right. You don't want that bad feeling to carry on with Marquez going into 2030 because it's gonna carry him.
Listen, the only way that happens is travesty in their own home soil. That would be like worst case scenario for Mexico.
But if you look at the results of Qatar, but look at the results in Qatar. They're no different than the rest of Mexico's results. A tie, a win, a loss. They didn't advance. Hold on, they didn't advance just on goal differential. That's it. That was the only reason. So it wasn't like the team like underperformed or got crushed, but it was enough to follow the next. It was enough to tarnish the next.
They got holes, man.
Yeah, but
you can't compare. They look bad, man.
Mira, really quickly, si estamos hablando de formas, ¿verdad? La manera que el fracaso de hoy se proyecta a lo que va a pasar mañana es si al fin de este mundial, como sea que salgamos, si salimos en la pinche gloria o si nos cagamos en la cama, la única manera que esto afecta a Rafa es si el pinche Vasco le faltan huevos y no enseña la cara y dice, ¿sabes qué? Todo lo que pasó es pedo mío. ¿Verdad? A Rafa,
he's proven to be a coward.
Good luck for him. And he has. And that's the problem.
He's done the whole, like,
and the
had the
and his whole
like
fucking
this.
deal
is
that he's going to sail away into the sunset after the last whistle. So he's going to disappear.
No, even if he blames himself, it's all about who put Marquez there, and that's what counts. It's like if you've seen it before with the national team, for example, the people that put in Bora, and then you had the other group that didn't want Bora, and then they lobbied until they put La Puente, and then even though La Puente was doing good, he fucking won a Confederations. He had a great World Cup. They fired him over a Gold Cup. It's fucking ridiculous. And they put in Mesa. So it's always like a different group wanting to take control. So Marquez came in the group that put Aguirre. So they don't care. They're gonna go after him regardless what Aguirre says.
All right. Espérate. If you're talking about Game of Thrones, who placed Marquez? Dime. What was el grupo de poder?
Jon Snow.
Y me vas a decir que le vas a quitar el poder a Televisa. ¿Qué fue lo que pasó la vez pasada? ¿O se te olvida pinche Game of Thrones?
They've done it before.
They've done it before.
No mames, güey. ¿Se les olvida Game of Thrones just a couple years ago? Jaime just started this whole segment saying that nothing has happened. You know why nothing has happened? Porque hubo putazos and fucking backstabbings inside la federación. Por pinche año y medio.
It happens. It has happened, and will continue to happen. There, when like right now, Joely brought up La Puente in 2000, right? So when La Puente lost, to Canada, and Canada ended up winning the Gold Cup. Back then, the Gold Cup didn't mean shit in Mexico. Absolutely nothing. Okay, and then you had a faction that was basically, in fact, it was led by Toluca's Lebrija. Okay, who and keep in mind this thing with Lebrija ended up in a round of fisticuffs in the Azteca locker room, by the way. So he said, he didn't want La Puente. That was not his, his gallo. He wanted Ojitos Mesa. So he brought in Ojitos Mesa, and he sabotaged La Puente. So it does happen. It happened with Hugo. It happened with La Puente. So that's why that's the best. Going back to what the original question, that's the best that you can hope for, is that you live a good showing. Regardless whether you get eliminated in the round of 32 or 16 in the quarterfinals, if you played well against a good elite team, then you can calm the waters, because that's what, because we've seen that happen with the press before. The press, I mean, I remember I was in the Stadium Media Center, you know, when we lost to Argentina in 06. I was also in the Stadium Media Center after we lost the game in to Argentina in 2010, and you could just tell from the press how it was night and day. Where you had in Argentina, you had Argentine members of the press going up and basically hugging a lot of the Mexican press, you know, and stuff like that, and not just like hermano, blah blah blah, you know, the great game, stuff like that, right? And then fast forward 4 years later, the Mexicans, you know, we're upset, we're fucking pissed, and then you had the RG reporters, you know, cracking up and laughing and stuff like that, you know, because it hurt the way we lost. I mean, we made ourselves look like idiots, you know, in that game.
But
That's why
will accelerate change, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Let's look at the fracaso of Qatar. What happened? A Jóvenes rule was implemented in the league to develop more youth players. Now we have a cosecha, a good cosecha. 4 years later, you know, not in time for this.
But they're not tried and tested, Rifado. They're not tried and tested.
True. Okay.
What's our cosecha? Because we don't have that many.
Like a harvest.
We don't.
No, I
and
understand. No, I'm saying
this-
like we don't really have like a crop of like promising aside from like Gil Mora, like Hormiga Gonzalez, but I mean Chivas are doing their thing.
There's like 15% of the last jornada was Jóvenes. So and it was a good one. So like you had 3 U23 goal scorers: El Loquito Abreu for Cholos, Hormiga with the doblete, and then you had Victor Rios, 6 foot tall Atlas midfielder.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
so like
none of these guys are going to the World Cup.
Like,
If you're counting,
we don't know how good they really are, to be brutally honest.
if you're counting Hormiga, you have to count Vargas, you have to count Cotorro, you have to count
Cotorro's old,
Chavez,
though.
Mateo Chavez. He's 22.
Cotorro?
I'm U23.
Yeah.
U23.
Is he?
Is my limit.
Yes,
Yes.
bro, he's young. You have to count who
I
else?
thought he was.
like,
He
got-
looks
'cause, like,
older, dude.
yeah.
Damn, he is 22. What the fuck? I thought he was like 25. Oh shit. Damn.
Who else? Montiel is 20, and some of these players are obviously not gonna go.
Brian Gutierrez, Chirac.
Well, he's not a product
don't
of
think he's
the
the-
Mexican national team.
He's rumored to go. He's rumored to go.
Earlier, you guys were talking about the Pochos, you know, about who's getting called up and stuff like that, right? And this kind of plays into what we're just talking about now, Rifado, about, you know, I just say, hey, these guys, they really aren't, you know, tried and tested. You know, even when Klinsmann was the national team, and Klinsmann was actually the national team coach in the U.S., it kind of really started to focus more on the Europe guys, right? Because before that, you had Bradley, you had, you know, Arena and stuff like that, and they obviously they you know, they were prideful of MLS. But even Klinsmann, to his credit, he would even fly back. He would fly down to Tijuana. He would go down to Mexico, and he would look at the players playing Liga MX. And if memory serves me, he would even go sometimes to go watch them in Copa Libertadores, right? So, you know, for me, and that goes back. I meant to, you know, interrupt you guys when you were talking about that. But, you know, for me, one of the reasons why you're not seeing any of the Pochos like Zendejas and Luna and stuff like that, well, not Luna, but for example, in Zendejas' case and stuff like that, is that right now, and I hate to say, but Liga MX, it may be making money, you know, whatever. If, you know, that's according to what's his name, the Liga MX president. I venture to say, and I would lean more towards it doesn't have a favorable view of player production. Because I mean, if that was the case, I think we would have more youth players playing abroad, and we're not. And even though, you know, I want Gil Mora to succeed, I want, you know, what's his name, the other kid, shit,
Hormiga?
I forget his name. Yeah, Hormiga to succeed. They're doing well at league. Okay, but you know, this is the World Cup. This is international. How do we know how they're going to react and how they're going to play in international? Because unfortunately, the tournament that I'm watching right now, the CONCACAF, yeah, it's fun for us guys, but really, it's not. It's not you're not really gauging how you're developing.
So you're
You know?
talking about development and not the level of the league.
Well,
because there's rumors that Paulinho might end up, might end up being a bombero for Portugal.
Really?
I mean, I can guarantee you, I could probably guarantee you, I'm probably willing to bet when you compared, you could go back to like the rosters of Liga MX, in previous World Cup editions, and you would find a bunch of them, like in Colombia, Paraguay, even Uruguay. Oh shit! Nice. Oh fuck, dude! Nice goal right now. Cruz Azul just scored.
Oh, you're ahead of my fucking stream. Damn it! Taconazo!
No, it's a nice fucking goal. Yeah.
Are you on VIX run?
Wow.
Yes, dude.
Cruz
Yes.
Azul just tied the match 1-1, 46th minute in the second half. That makes it 4-3
Pues
on
chinguen a
aggregate.
su madre los dos entonces.
Hey, pinche golazo.
Dude, that is who scored it? Who scored it? Number.
I can't tell. He looks foreign though. He doesn't look Mexican.
Espérate, güey, espérate. Todavía no me pega, güey.
Number 20. Who's
Let me
number
go get
20?
the titty oil.
Palavecino?
Oh, Palavecino.
Palavecino scores for Cruz Azul.
No, güey, Paradela. Paradela.
Well, they're just doing their best. Ricardo.
Los Pala, güey, like I said it at the beginning.
Did you guys I don't remember if you guys talked about when America loaned out a player named Diego Reyes to a Brazilian team?
Diego Reyes.
Yeah, his
Yeah,
name is
that
Diego
just happened,
Reyes.
like, 2
He's
weeks
an
ago.
18-year-old. It happened like last week, a week and a half ago, something like that. So he's loaned out to Palmeiras, I believe, and they have like they can buy 50% of his card or whatever, and it would be for like $2 million. So America has him worth $4 million,
Plays
and
for
it's
Flamengo.
huh?
He plays for Flamengo. He got
Flamengo,
loaned out.
yes, thank you. Yeah. So America has him worth $4 million. He's an 18-year-old kid. He did debut when he was like 16. But my thing is like that's part of the reason why these young players are moving. And you guys have talked about it in the past, and it's kind of like beating a dead horse. But I was really surprised that like wow, he was worth $4 million. They have him worth $4 million. That is insane. Like European teams are not going to do that.
Well, we'll see what happens with Hormiga's case. I think that's going to set the predecessor for the rest of the league, right? Because right now, Borussia Dortmund is heavily monitoring his situation. And obviously, with the amount of goals he scored in the league and the fact that he plays for Chivas and the fact that it's a World Cup year and the fact that he's one of the top under 23 goal scorers in the world, not just in Mexico, that's going to set the predecessor for any Gil Mora, right? So we'll see. We'll see if they end up buying him. I know in the past they monitored JJ Mack. He was even part of their documentary. They actually said, hey, open up the coffers. We're going to go for this guy. Obviously, it didn't happen. But, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that sets the tone for the rest of the league. And then you also have Hugo Camberos, who is trying to get poached by his former coach, Oscar Garcia, who is now at Ajax. So we'll see if that goes through as well.
I want to add just to the 4 million tag. It shouldn't matter if Europe is willing to pay it or not. Like that shouldn't be the reason to undervalue players. Now, I'll say a big reason why Mexican players get, and you see it like kind of echoed by other news outlets and how saying that they overprice them and shit like that. And a big reason is because in Africa and South America, they're so poor, they don't get to really put higher prices because if they could, they fucking would, And you have a lot of players. You hear it all the time. South Americans, they're not all leaving because they want to play in Europe. They're leaving just for the money.
Because they broke. Yeah,
so
I know.
because they're broke. But that's the thing.
Out of
and
necessity.
That's why I really liked Mora's agent when they said 15 million, and he said you couldn't buy one of his legs for 15 million. And I think you need that type of agents that will value and treat you fairly, because other than that, then you're not going to get a fair shake. That's why there's also
there needs to be a happy medium though, because I understand that Liga MX lives in its own bubble, and I've compared it to the Premier League in that fashion because in the Premier League, an English player like Harry Maguire went for 80 fucking million quid. No other league would pay that amount. You know, same thing with Andy Carroll when he went from Newcastle to Liverpool. No one's paying 50 million sterling for this motherfucker.
But do you think 4 million's a lot? Come on, 4 million, 50 million in today's that's not a lot, man. Come on.
It is in the eyes of Europe because we're an unproven commodity. Mexico has yet to.
Because they're pillaging, dude.
Mexico
has pillaging and looting South America and Africa, dude. That's why. That's the only reason they don't give a fuck.
The thing about Mexico is like you look at the receipts, bro. Look at the players that have left with high ticket prices. They have not had a good return on their investment. I look at Lainez. I look at who else went for a lot of money? Like Edson Alvarez,
Raúl Jiménez.
For Atletico, I mean.
Bro, most expensive.
At Atletico, it didn't work out.
Look that far.
Who's
the player who's making the most waves right now?
Lozano.
Julian Araujo in Celtic. No mames, güey. That's who are like international star right now, who's setting the world on fire. ¿Y por qué? Porque se sentó los huevos y sintió lo que es jugar in Celtic and to fight the derby out there.
Yeah.
Y ahora lo están mamando. ¿Verdad? No mames, güey. Like, that's the sample pool that Mexico has to offer.
We have a very small...
It's very limited, and it's a very unfucking proven.
It's an unproven commodity, and they can get a Brazilian...
I don't think it's unproven.
Look, they can get a Brazilian...
So, I was reading about the Reyes kid. So, they loaned out America loaned them out to Flamengo, and if Flamengo decides to buy him, it would be at 50% of his worth, which is $2 million. So that leads me to believe that America probably has a back-end clause where if Flamengo sells them to Europe, they're gonna fucking get some good money. And that's not a bad situation right there.
Well, I just want to finish on my take. The one thing about Mexicans is that, well, at least the Mexican league, that a lot of the clubs will buy back the players. So like Lainez, they bought him back. It's not like you're going to lose. You're not taking that much of a bet with a lot of these players. But for the ones that have gone for like a really high price, I mean, Jimenez was one of the highest, and Lainez, other than that, most of them have gone pretty cheap. I mean, they just convince us that it's a lot of money. But 4 million, even 8 million compared to 80, it's peanuts, man. It's peanuts.
I know, but dude, they're getting these players. They're getting Brazilians and Argentinians for fucking pennies on the dollar, dog.
Yeah, they are, but not all of them. Hold on, Savio. Not all of those guys are gonna be top tier. A lot of them are gonna end up coming.
I understand, but a lot of them do pan out, and they're gonna continue to like feed that pipeline. So it's just unfortunate.
When the Omar Bravo failed with Deportivo La Coruña, and the president came to Mexico and he tried to fucking sell them for what he bought them at, and everybody laughed at him.
Wait, I thought he left on a free.
No, they paid money for because he tried to sell them. He tried to sell them at a high price, and everybody laughed at him in Mexico.
I know. Omar Bravo was extremely frustrated because after the 2006 World Cup, he had offers. And Vergara said, no, it's not enough money. And then when they sold Chicharo, they said, they kind of did like a backhanded comment. Like, sí, look, así es como debes de salir del club. You know, de la puerta enfrente, no de atrás.
He leaves to Atlas.
And he left.
Because
he left. I want to say he had to like either buy out his contract or write out his contract. He left to Deportivo La Coruña as a free agent. He didn't leave with a transfer fee.
Who are you talking? Who are you referring to?
Bravo.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, he was not happy with that comment because Vergara was like, "Yeah, dude, see, like we sold Chicharo, and this is how you're supposed to leave to Europe, not through the back door, not trying to be shady." But it's like, dude, you guys held him hostage.
But you know, come along.
Tuca said something similar about how was it Pulido? How a certain player, you know, if you. Was it Pulido?
I mean, I know Pulido.
One player.
That's the
one
guy
player
he lost.
One player Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And fuck, I had
Jaime,
another.
I'm just gonna add really quick.
Right up for Bravo, yeah. He let
Huh?
teams and just fucking laughed at him.
Yeah, no, I mean that point it was kind of at the tail end. But what I'm gonna say, like with Liga MX, it's come a long way because at one point they wanted, like European teams wanted the best. Some other players left. Yeah, and that's kind of how they left, and it's like you're just evaluating the league at that point, you know. And I think what we've seen is that when the players are really good, the teams will pay whatever they know that they're worth it. They will take him, and we've seen it with I mean, with some of the other players that have gone abroad because there are plenty.
Like you look at like the greats like Cuauhtémoc Blanco, you know, Torrado, players that like did try abroad, like Valencia. Like they were kind of like pioneers. They were taking a massive risk, Borghetti as well. But they knew that they can come back to Liga MX and still have like a great career. And at that time, you know, Liga MX was a very competitive league, and you could kind of like finish your career as like a Liga like legend. Now everyone's eyes are in Europe because the game has been globalized. And I will say, man, there is an expiration date on some of these prospects, and if you don't leave at the appropriate time, you kind of like your career goes down. I mean, we've seen it time and time again with players that should have left a long time ago. Their club holds them hostage. They never get that move. And
No, Jaime, come on, man, come
like
on.
even look at Marcel
I have
Ruiz.
to push
Marcel
back
Ruiz
on
is a
that.
perfect
They're holding
example.
hostage.
Marcel Ruiz is like his
Nobody held them
his
hostage, man.
his window to like go to Europe, like it was like there, and then it's gone now. Like who knows if
It's
he'll
not
ever
like he had
recover?
offers. It's not like he.
What
It's
about
not like he had offers.
But they rejected him. It wasn't up to him. He could have went to Brazil. He could have went to
No,
the
it is
championship.
up to you because the examples are there of players that have won to go. They leave.
So, Jaime,
Yeah,
hello.
I'm here. I can hear you.
So it's interesting. It's interesting you mentioned Cuau and Valencia, right? Because you are right. You know the player that the Mexican player that goes abroad, they always have that understanding that they can always come back, and there's that safety line, of going back to Liga MX and still make millions and still have a good productive career. But how did Cuau and how did Valencia end up going to Europe? And then you fast forward 3-4 years after that, when you had the largest migration of Mexican players going to Europe. I mean that didn't happen. That didn't happen by chance. That happened because Mexico, in general, both the league and the national team, started to put a good product out in the field. And the way we knew it was a good product is because we had a proper way of gauging how Mexico, both league and national team, was progressing. And going back to what I said, going back to what I said about Rifado about we're developing all these good players and stuff like that, and I'm like, but how do we know? And the way we knew back then, and we don't know now, is because Valencia left because of Copa Libertadores. Cuau left because of Copa Libertadores. We had other players leave because of Copa America. We had other players leave because of Copa Confederaciones. That was the only way we knew how that we were developing good players.
Yeah.
Like Omar Bravo. Omar Bravo, for me, I thought he was a chump, But then when he fucking turned it on in the Copa Libertadores, I was like, God damn, where did this guy fucking come from?
Yeah.
Run in that exodus of players in the mid 2000s. How much responsibility do you give La Volpe? Because he likes to brag that because of his system.
No, and Hoyle and the guys that I chat with from back then, they will tell you I was one of his biggest detractors. But time has a tendency of putting people in their place, and I was wrong. I would take La Volpe back in a heartbeat.
Oh, absolutely.
Because of how I would take him back in a heartbeat. I really would.
He should he should be in the picture even as an advisor.
Well, they tried, and then he's like, if I'm not gonna control the team, then fuck that. Like, you know what I mean?
So
He probably will now, though. He's much older
Wasn't he
now.
part of that group of experienced guys that they wanted to set up Jimmy with, and he's at the end he fucking pulled out.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
Ah,
Jimmy,
but you know what?
we're going with Jimmy, and he's gonna be one of the mentors. And then La Volpe's like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Like, this wasn't discussed with
but,
me.
But
Like,
that was Iraragorri. Yeah, that was also like, who's doing it? You know what I mean? And I think he knew that guy couldn't carry much weight and was gonna be dissolved soon, which did happen.
I don't know how we got here, but all I know is,
Hold on, I just wanted to piggyback off what Ron.
yeah,
was
go for
saying.
it.
You know, he's saying that there is no like metric for us to measure Mexican football against. You know, it used to, well, but that no longer exists. But if a fracaso comes, you know, that accelerates change. That might propel the league, the federation, to come back to what used to work. And so if we, hopefully we do well, but if that doesn't happen, and there is a fracaso, it's not the end of the world. It's just going to be a rebirth, and then I'll be excited for the changes that, you know, the league will be forced to implement. And so yeah, that might be an outcome, you know.
So two things. So if Pepe had decided to play for Mexico, would he be going for the amount he went to where he's going to Fulham for? So that's one thing. That's one question. I just wanted to pose that. And then the other thing is, I lost my train of thought. If I think about it, I'll come back.
It'll come back. I don't know if Pepe is the best example because
here's the thing: hoping, or not. I'm not saying you're hoping, but if Mexico shits the bed and stuff like that, and you're hoping, you're trying to see a silver lining that, hey, at least we'll see change. If that didn't happen after Qatar,
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, do you really think it's going to happen?
It's not.
Do you really think
the
that?
Holdings rule?
I
The
thought-
Holdings
No,
rule is
it happened. It happened one game where the people started to abandon the national team.
Yep.
And they didn't go to a game.
The Nations
and then
League.
after that, yeah. And then after that, oh, okay, we forgot about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, you guys got rid of Jimmy?
That's-
Okay.
Okay, no, for me the change would have been the change would have been forget Leagues Cup, forget Campeones Cup. Okay, we can modify the Champions League Cup, the Champions League, because it technically still is our confederation. But no, boys, we need to do this. We need to go back into Copa America. The South Americans have been begging us to come back. We could reduce the
They just want our
what do
money.
you call it, the amount of hey, it's it's true.
I'm not saying
but
she's a gold
You
digger.
can still benefit.
It's a two-way street, though.
No.
It's a two-way street. We would benefit from that.
We need their exposure. They need our
No,
money.
yeah.
Come back.
Exactly. And again, like I said, I mean, first and foremost, forget, because I understand there's also logistics and stuff like that, playing in the South American tournaments. But even domestically, for me, it's going back to lowering the amount of foreign players. Going back to five, at the most 5 players, and 4 in Mexico City, and then also going back to how they used to treat the foreigners, where you're not having, America, Cruz Azul don't have 10, 18 foreigners, under contract. Basically, the foreigners that that you would get, for the most part, they were national team players. If they were Colombian, if they were Paraguayan, if they were, from Chile, they were national team players. If they were Brazilian or they were Argentinian, they for the most part, like, for example, I remember Roberto de Pino for Atlas. He was a standout in Brazil's youth, So that's kind of what you want to go back to in terms of the domestic, of making sure that, there's enough roster spots for the Mexican homegrown talent, the MX talent, and then also bringing in really good national team players. I don't think overall, Mexico's bringing in and I'm not talking about bombazos. I'm talking about, good journeymen, guys that are, tried and tested, internationally, like the guys like, the thinking guys like from Toluca, Da Silva, Vicente Sanchez, those type of guys, that being around those type of players made the Mexican team guys better as well.
Well, like remember when Cruz Azul had Chelito Delgado and they had Figueroa? Those guys were, they were coming
On,
up in the youth program.
I said that before. For me personally, that team that had the Chelito Delgado, Loco Abreu, Martin Pinheiro, stuff like that. For me, on paper, that was probably the most scariest and lethal team that Liga MX had probably ever assembled.
More
They
than
it never
America,
came.
more than America with Bellic.
They never panned out in terms of success. But in terms of like, if you were to compare roster, man per man, I thought that fucking team was just gonna roll over fucking everybody. I thought they were just.
But
You
brother,
put them over the Villica, Lucha, America.
America del Benaque, you put them over them.
I would not in terms of obviously results.
Nobody-
Because obviously, I mean that.
Dude, nobody tops the
But-
late
but-
'90s and early 2000s Toluca, bro. I'm sorry, man. That team was full of. That was a nightmare to deal with.
But did that
Honestly, the best team.
Vicente
was
Sanchez,
the,
Cardoso. Come on, bro. You had
no,
did
well,
that
look,
team win the
technically-
Doblete?
Fabian
Did they win the
Estay.
Doblete?
Technically-
Yeah,
the
dude.
Fabian Estay,
Abundis. You had Abundis at one point. Yeah, dude.
Mhm.
That Toluca team
the
kept me up
best
at night.
team, the best team, especially based on points and style of play and goal production, was actually the 82-83 America
Oh,
team
dude,
that
you're
got
talking
robbed
about,
in the
you're talking about
semifinals.
ancient times, bro.
Rob.
Okay, but I'm just saying. No, but in terms of like just the quality of players, I thought that was probably the best team that Liga MX had ever assembled, because from top to bottom, they were stacked. National team players, guys that had a good international careers. I mean, I thought those guys were just was just a phenomenal roster.
Campeonísimo.
Was that?
El campeonísimo Chivas.
Oh,
So-
dude, we're talking about fucking ancient history over there. No, that's.
5 years of dominance. Come on, man. 5
I
years of
understand, but we
dominance.
weren't alive for those times, and I don't think they have that shit on film. It's like when Wilt scored 100 points. Like, we don't have footage of that shit, man. But it is what it is. Let's segue into Chivas. They had a 3-0 victory over Santos over the weekend. Hormiga Gonzalez scored a brace. And I've been seeing some graphics out there where he's tied with Lamine Yamal as one of the most productive under 23 strikers in the world with 20 goals. Right, this cannot be ignored. It's got Dortmund on their radar, and if the things go well against Leon tomorrow, because it's a match that they missed out on, Chivas would climb back to number 1 position where they belong. So.
Yes, sir.
And we wrote an article. It's on Twitter, so make sure to check it out. But I said, this is one of those fucking double-edged swords, right? The better Chivas perform, the more likely our chances of making a deep run in the playoffs falter, because they're gonna call up all of our boys. They're gonna take half the team to this Mexican, whether it's the training camp or whether it's the actual final roster. Like, we're talking about at least like 6 or 7 players that could go into this mix, and that would diminish our chances of Liguilla and winning a championship. And we're running out of time, man. Chivas are good for 1 title every 10 years, and we only have 1 year left to do this. And right now it feels like it's their time.
Hey, Jaime, would it be based on merit, or would it be a Televisa conspiracy?
What?
If let's say 6-7 players from Chivas were taken to the World Cup.
I don't know, man. I mean, they did it to us
Wait,
in
why
in
would that
06
be?
and 2010.
Yeah, but those players were I say they were at another level at that
But
point.
this selection is at another
Tele-
level, a lower level.
Televisa and Chivas are at odds with each other, so
Yeah,
it wouldn't be that.
yeah, you can factor
Yeah,
them
Chivas is
in.
the Amazon team now. They're buddies with Bezos.
But I thought Televisa controlled the roster and everything.
If they did,
Oh,
they
no,
wouldn't. They wouldn't
No.
empower their rival with their ability. Like, that
Have you
wouldn't be the
seen
move that they
the
do.
commercials we're getting here in the States? The Burger King commercials with Lainez Malagon and another Henry Martin. Like it's all America, bro. Like they're not really showcasing any
Bro,
Chivas
they're
but
the
players.
only ones
some of those are
available.
like penned from back. Do you know what I mean?
You look
Some of
at
them are like if you sign
pinche
a contract.
Ochoa Coladera doing tequila commercials. Like it's all Televisa America players, dude. It's not Chivas aren't getting showcased.
Well, it's also Santi, man. Santi's on like buildings, bro.
Santi in Mexico is doing well. But here in the States, you haven't really.
Santi's like the biggest star.
I saw publicity and it's all like it's the Reyes and they have Machin and it's mostly America players.
Yeah,
I
it's
seen
all America propaganda, dude.
big ass pictures on the buildings in CDMX.
So you're telling me that Televisa's controlling the roster, but then if they take six, 7 players from Chivas, then there'd be no there's no conspiracy because in my mind, wouldn't they want to weaken Chivas for the playoff run? That's what I'm asking.
No, man.
Well, here's the thing.
You won. First, let me just say really quick, because FMF is run by all the club owners, so all the club owners want, the representation. You're watching the World Cup, and whatever player is on the screen, it's gonna say striker from Cruz Azul or defender from, Santos, whatever. So you kind of want that, but all these owners will lobby to have a representation. So I don't think they control it the way we seem to think that they do. They might have some influence, but like overall, I think the coaches are allowed to, for the most part, call in who they want, because it's at the end of the day, it's business, and you're not gonna mess up the.
I just want to make sure so that when Liguilla comes around,
they're not.
We're not making excuses.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like not too long ago, Tuca said to Alvaro Morales that he was approached once to have somebody on the team, and he basically referred to Ochoa.
They said, "Oh, was he imposed?"
And then the comments.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the comment was, and then if you read the comments afterwards, obviously Ochoa didn't start. It was Corona, and the comments were, "Oh, so you did decide to play who you wanted, right?" So long story short is that, of course, you're going to have promoters and sponsors and stuff like that are going to want to obviously promote certain players and promote certain products. That's a given. But in terms of the coach being forced to, I don't buy that anymore. I used to, but then for me, the canary in the coal mine for me was the Ojitos Mesa era, when he called players that technically had no business being on the national team, but were loyal players and they were good league players for him.
Yeah, Macias.
David Oteo, those type of guys that he had, coached. But it's still, I mean, you still have Televisa, and you still have Televisa, you still have TV Azteca and stuff like that. You have the same, a lot of those club owners are the same. So you have to basically, prove it that, hey, yeah, this guy, this executive told me, or you play this guy or you're the fucking out of here. And I don't believe that for a moment, because like I said,
But
most players.
Why would they bring in
most
Aguirre
players-
for a third time? Because he will be that puppet for whatever agenda that
He's
Mexico
never
has.
been that puppet, bro.
Bro, come on, man.
If you see how he came in the second time, it was on his terms. And even the third time, that's the thing about him, where the FMF has gone for him. He's probably one of the coaches where,
Dude,
I'll just say outside of Mexico.
Aguirre is gonna start Ochoa in the 2026 World Cup. I have a fucking feeling.
Ochoa earned it if he does.
I know, but he didn't start
deserved it.
Ochoa. He didn't start Ochoa in 2010.
Yeah.
He didn't take Julio Davino. He didn't take Pavel Pardo, guys that were at America. So again, for me, that's just a bunch of rumors that have not substantiated to anything.
The big one here is Blanco. He got left out. He got left out by La Volpe. I mean, how you leave that dude out?
You don't even
He
have to
just
change
fucking
players
did it.
or go that far back. Let's look. How many times did he play Ochoa in 2025? I think it's 0, right? Did he play once for La Selección? I don't think so. So like I wouldn't. I think he's going just for marketing, porque you know the carita and his presence. And like El Más Sabio said, man, he's our last superstar, and we can make a bit of trivia history. You know, if not real history, like we want the 7th game or 6th game. You know, we can do the trivia history at least. You know, which is the shitty consolation.
They just want him on the Panini stickers, man. They're like, yo.
He's gonna be set up if he does that, man. He's gonna be 80 years old, like kind of like Pelé was with MasterCard, and be invited to every World Cup until he fucking croaks.
Oh my god.
He won the lottery.
Ochoa's gonna take Campos' spot because, like I said, dude, Ochoa when he goes internationally, especially when he's around FIFA fans, dude, everybody knows him. You know?
Yeah.
So
Ochoa.
you're saying Ochoa? Ochoa's gonna replace
that guy Ochoa.
Like, you know how?
No, because Brody Campos is also loved, you know, by the the international FIFA international community. They love him. So I mean, I think that Ochoa is going to be that as well.
And Campos a big reason was his Nike commercials. And really died. People were watching him playing in Pumas or Galaxy. It was the those Nike commercials. They're pretty fucking epic.
So what you guys are telling me is that when you go to a Mexico friendly and they have the Home Depot tent or the Milwaukee tent, he's going to be out there fucking signing your drill or signing your fucking apron.
No, not him. He's going to be with FIFA. FIFA's going to have him at the FIFA, bro. Those are the sponsors. So they have like the B list, usually the BC team players. He's gonna be up there in the VIP palcos with the people that pay up their ass, and he goes and he gets to have a drink and you get an autograph. Yeah. That's where he's gonna be, bro. Yeah. The other ones is kind of sad to see because I almost didn't go up because I forgot who it was, and it was like Home Depot 10 and no one was approaching him. And at that point, I didn't even know what to say, so I stayed away too. But it was kind of sad to see. I was like, damn, bro. You could have saved to have an OXXO or a used car lot. And here you are, dude. But nah, man. We're just gonna be in the suits, man.
Jaime, I'm kind of
money for FIFA. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, bro.
I'm gonna say he's gonna help FIFA embezzle money, but. That was it, man. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that I'm kind of on Jaime's I'm kind of having the same line of thinking just because. So I've been trying to make my list of 26 players of who. It's kind of hard to say who's gonna go, who's not. I think I'm gonna keep it to who I want to go or who I would take, and I came to realize that this might be in my lifetime. This might be, I don't know if maybe the youngest, but at least the most inexperienced team that we're ever taking, or roster that we're ever taking to the World Cup. And I'm like, man, we're gonna have Tala, who's never played in a final, has never even played a real game with Mexico, like a actual official game with Mexico. Gallardo I think he's been in a great form, but if I had to take somebody, if I had to start somebody, it'd probably be Cotorro. But then I'm like, Gallardo and Raul are like our most veteran players at this point. Like, we have no experience, and I'm scared of a fracaso because then it could psychologically mess with a lot of the younger players.
Look, man, fuck experience, dude.
It's run out pretty good experience. It's run out though. If you look at it, I think there's plenty of experience. I don't understand.
I really this is the World Cup to just throw everything out there, man. Just like let's see.
Not when you're hosting.
Yeah, dude, because like we got nothing to lose. It's in our backyard. Obviously,
we got a lot to lose.
The veterans are just
humiliated at home.
Exciting players to tune in, and it's like he's injured. He's still like it's still uncertain if he will like make it to the World Cup. But he was like really exciting to watch, and it's like it's so unfortunate that he got injured, and you're dealing with all these other injuries. It's like, damn, bro. At this point, just go for a younger team. Like Rangel, how do you get experience? Well, eventually you got to play these big games, and I'm super curious to see what Aguirre does against Belgium and Portugal. Because if he goes with Ochoa, I'm gonna be really pissed off.
That younger team means less experience, and the way that the games now,
You got to get
it's pretty
experience
even
somehow.
now. That's why playing in the league, playing day in, day out. You
No,
don't
eventually,
get experience by getting bounced at your World Cup at home.
eventually, you got to
You don't
throw
go to
the
the-
baby
you-
birds out the
yeah,
nest, dude. You got to see
No,
if they
but
sink or
there's the
swim.
thing. You don't go to the national team to get experience.
No,
You go to help them win.
no,
So
I
Hurtado
understand.
did. There's 2 seasons where he's killing it. That's a big difference than some player that's just showing a flash here and there.
But-
But that's the whole thing. I don't know why.
This is
It-
like
it's still a
exactly
talking
what
point
this is
to get
exactly.
experience.
You look at the Chicharito situation in 2010, right? He was the hot player. He was the one with the
Yeah.
hot hand, the hot foot, whatever. He was
Yeah.
scoring everything with his fucking head, his both feet, like face, like. And Aguirre said, "Oh well, he's not experienced enough," and he went with fucking Guille Franco. And it's like, dude, if he would have started, if he had the balls to give this guy the starting role in the World Cup, we probably would have had different results. And like, this is the same situation with Hormiga. Like, he is the hottest striker we have, aside from Quiñones, but he doesn't play Quiñones as a striker. So it's like, dude, like, go with him. What do you have to fucking lose? What are we gonna get with playing Raul
Well, you
and
already
Berterame?
called him.
I know, but I want him
Yeah.
starting. I want him starting against South Africa, dude. Like, this is the dude he needs to be starting.
Bro, he's scoring tap-ins on Chivas, man. He does not gonna get that level of production with Mexico. We saw it with Santi. Santi and Hormiga are kind of like they're not the same players, but they made their fame through scoring tap-ins. And you go to Mexico, we don't have Chivas. Look, man,
Chicharito scored tap-ins, man. What are you talking about?
but Chicharito, no, yes. But Chicharito had a lot of good players around him.
Did he?
Who would
though?
service him?
And Hormiga,
Yes.
so then Hormiga has less talent around him, and he almost has the same amount of goals that Chicharito did
Weird.
in the last year.
At Chivas.
No. Chivas, dude, no. Chivas is playing
But both
really
at
well,
the
bro.
And in the
With
same
Ledesma and
match, they both
Cotorro?
got 20 goals.
I'm just looking
With who?
at player for player.
But Chicharito and Hormiga have almost the same amount of goals in the same period, and that year before the World Cup.
The
Bro.
Chivas Chicharito team, the 2010 2019 that supported him was much better than our current crop of players. Like, we had Venado, we had Bofo. I mean, he had options, bro. And with Chivas, like, we've somehow managed to make it work with all these youngsters and Mexican Americans, and him and Richie are like on the same freaking wavelength. And it's like, dude, if he can do that with that, like, on the national team, like, he should be able to connect with these other dudes.
But Hattrick, didn't Hormiga prove against America he could score driving the ball? I mean, he took it from media cancha and he nailed one in America. So he could touch the ball.
No, he can. Yeah, I'm not saying he's bad with the ball at his feet, but he's not. See, the reason why, in my opinion, and I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. The reason why Raul Jimenez works so well for the Mexican national team is because we don't have players that can center the ball well. We don't have like he's such a playmaker that people can play off of him. It's like look at America right now. America doesn't have good wingers. Zendejas isn't like the traditional winger. He's kind of like habilidoso, right? He has the ball at his feet. But then you have Pato Salas, who has been starting in Henry's absence, and Pato Salas he can play with the goal behind his back. He can do a little quick 1-2. He can control the ball, and he's been playing very well in the game plan. I guess is what I'm saying, in the system that we have. In my opinion, I think that's why Santi doesn't play well with Mexico, because he doesn't have what Raul has, which is not intangibles, but he doesn't play well with the ball. He's not a playmaker. Hormiga